You feel like you're destined for more.
Yep.
What does that mean?
So, I mean, to be honest, like when when I first started the program, I was just looking at lateral shifts, or even maybe a little lateral minus a little bit shift into another organization, just because I was to the point where I just wanted work-life balance more than anything. And I now, like, all the positions I'm looking for would be the head of product role. And those are all the positions I've been interviewing for lately. I've kind of come to the terms that a job's a job, like it doesn't define me. And, there's lots out there. So if this doesn't work out, then there's other opportunities. And I haven't blindly applied for any job at all. I've very much been going after contacts through LinkedIn,
That's the way to do
and
it. That's
and
the way to
I'm
do it.
trying not to just blindly apply to anything. If I have a contact there, I'm reaching out to them on LinkedIn and saying, "Hey, I saw this is out there. Can we talk for 5 minutes just so I can understand what you're looking for?" And that seems to be working pretty well. Like, for the most part, I've been able to get responses. I just want to thank you for putting this program together. Like, this was a lifesaver for me. So,
Oh, that is so sweet. What were your favorite parts of the program?
to be honest, like, Scarf was 100% applicable, and something I used that day after having the initial training. Like, um, and then the discussions around executive presence,
Mhm.
and yeah, all that's been a game changer. Like, those two things are what most people have been like, what's going on? Like, you're changing, and it's for the good.
People saw the change in you.
Yes.
How about that elusive work-life balance? Tell me a little bit about that. How did that change?
It's awesome now. Like, I mean, getting laid off and getting 3.5 months notice for my layoff was part of that. But it's also just helped me realize, like, really, work-life balance is up to me. Like, I can control that, and it doesn't really matter like, what pressures are coming from work. The work's always going to be there, no matter what, and it's up to me to prioritize what's important to me.
Look at you go.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, I knew this. I just was in like, fight or flight, like, mode so much. It's like I just wasn't even thinking straight.
Right. And when you're in fight or flight mode, I mean, you get the franticness, the overwhelm.
Oh yeah. And then I was like, just to the point where I was like in meetings 8 hours a day, and I was just mentally exhausted, and it just, like, that repeated cycle, and it just never was getting better. So, I mean, I even prioritize my calendar. It's been a huge benefit, and not accepting every meeting and saying, like, do you really need me there? If you don't need me there, or you want me to provide some input after the fact, let me know. But you got this.
Right. You've got this. You don't need to spend an hour for 30 seconds of input.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been trying to coach some of my coworkers, which I'm hoping to send your way in the near future. But really, it's just the matter of just getting sane again is, like, worth more than anything. It's worth it.
My gosh. So one of the biggest benefits I just heard is getting sane.
Yep.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It's a huge deal, and it didn't take long. Like, honestly, I was to that point within 3 weeks of the program, like, jumping into the program. And it was almost like, when you're talking about having those moments where, that quiet time moments, it was like I started to prioritize, like, that type of stuff, and it just, like, snapped me out of just the fight or flight all the time.
Hashtag awesome.
The momentum program, at least for right now, until I land, sounds exactly what I need.
I'm so glad you decided to join. And if you need anything, I'm here.
Yep.
And otherwise, we'll see you in the momentum program, my friend.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to tell you thank you.
You're very
Like,
welcome.
it's been amazing.
You're so very welcome. The program is everything I needed a long time ago that I put together.
Yeah, my only regret is I didn't do it. Like, I didn't do it earlier. Like, I didn't find it, or I didn't seek out help earlier. That's my only regret.
Yeah, but now you
Because
saw.
it probably would have changed so much for me. Because I just realized that I was just stuck in a rut, and I was just sitting, like, almost like decaying in my role.
Oh, decaying in your role. Yeah. But look at you now. You're like, I'm only going to take the right role and I'm going to level up.
Yep.
And I own
Yeah,
my.
yeah. And I like, yeah, it's been interesting because like no matter the size of the company, like all the positions I've been looking at, well, except for one, there was one I looked at that would have been more of a lateral move, but it was mostly because I had a referral, could get an easy interview, so I could get some practice. But yeah, like most of them have been where, or at least the ones that I've had up until now lately have been all like head of product roles, but they're small companies, which is I feel like a safe place for me to kind of build my experience in brand and that type of position, and not always having like somebody above me, ultimately leading that direction. So
I'm curious, did your employees who report to you see a difference in you?
yes.
Really? What did they see?
They just saw that I was like more centered and calm and not like, I mean, they said that I've always been kind of like this all the time. I get that feedback all the time from them. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This has been a good experience. I mean, even just going through this layoff, like people have come out of the woodworks. I mean, my people on my team have, they wrote out like all these things that they just really appreciated about my leadership style. And I didn't prompt them for this, but they wrote it out and then gave it to me. And then I know they were all responded on my 360 feedback. So it's been good.
You're ready for the next phase.
Interestingly, I talked to a former PM that she left our company and went somewhere else. And she came to Salt Lake City recently, and she met up with me and another director. And she said that the interview experience she had with us was like the most unique experience that she's ever had, because she's like, it didn't even feel like an interview. And she's like, as I reflected back on it, I realized that you were actually getting all the information you needed, but it didn't, like, it felt comfortable, and I was like, I really appreciated her telling me that, because that's the type of interviews that I want to have. I want people to feel comfortable, because when I understand their potential.
Oh my gosh. See, that's what interviewing should be about. You've got this, and we'll see you at momentum. Thanks, Karl.
Yep.